Okay, last student question. What is your opinion of the proposed state of Jefferson? And Ms. Bateson, you're first.
All right, so I want to tell you guys a story from the El Dorado County Fair that was held in Placerville. Now, it was a really hot day, but our Democrats there were pretty lucky. They had a table in the shade, and the state of Jefferson's table was in the sun. So that was part of the reason why a bunch of the state of Jefferson folks came over to the table where I was talking to people, handing out materials. And I'll tell you that my mom was there too, and she's a nurse. That means she knows everybody in the community, and she's really good at talking with just about anyone. So, we started having a conversation. Just talking about what did you do last weekend, and we realized we had a lot in common, because do you know what those state of Jefferson folks were concerned about? They were concerned about the tree mortality crisis. I mean, they had been out for a hike and told me about how they'd come around a curve and saw a huge stand of dead trees on one of their favorite routes. And one of the adult sons of this woman I was talking to just about started crying and said to her mom, the forest is dying. And we kept talking, and in that conversation we realized there is so much that unites us. They are yearning for real representation. They're yearning for someone who will stand up for their interests, who can ensure that their kids have access to good education, that there are good paying jobs, and that we're being responsible stewards of our natural environment that we all love. Here's what the state of Jefferson doesn't like. People from LA and people from San Francisco. They feel dominated, right, by those parts of California, and I can understand that. I think we can all understand that because we are being represented by someone from Southern California. So if you talk to some state of Jefferson folks about Tom McClintock, here's what I need you to say. Tom McClintock is from LA. Even if you succeed with your political project, you're still going to be a state. You're still going to need a representative in Congress, and wouldn't you like that to be someone who's actually from this region, who's actually going to stand up for your interests and engage with you? How do you feel about being represented at the federal level by someone from LA? I'm telling you, it's very effective.
Ms. Morse.
I had a nice chat with State of Jefferson guys at one of McClintock's town halls. They had a booth out front, and so I approached them as I do every member of our community, with a willingness to listen. And I started talking to them, and what I heard from them, I was asking them, why do you want to secede? Why do you want a separate state? And what I realized is that they feel that they don't have representation for rural issues. Guess what? We don't have representation for rural issues because we have Tom McClintock, who is not representing our rural issues. And so I started talking to them about fire prevention, better water management strategy, job creation for their kids here at home, and bark beetle kill. And I found that we had solid common ground. Part of the advantage I had is that I started out my campaign with a 3-month listening tour of our district. I went and met with our county supervisors, local mayors, CAL FIRE chiefs, hospital boards, chambers of commerce, and I listened to make sure that I understood the issues that our district, the rural issues that our community was facing, so that I could be a partner in solving those issues, and that I could find the best ideas and give those ideas a platform that we could project. So I spent 3 months, I did all 10 counties, and I came out with a solid foundation. So it was incredibly natural to have a discussion about the real issues and the real needs of our rural communities with anyone in these communities, any of our neighbors, whether they wear gold and green shirts, saying State of Jefferson, or whether they wear, blue shirts about Democrats, I don't know. Anyway, it is critical to make sure that we are approaching
Humboldt County, and that's one of the hubs for this. Trinity County, Siskiyou County, it's where they have revived the movement. The reason they're reviving the movement is because they truly feel that there is no representation, and of course, many of us know that there are other dividing issues. And so we were at a town hall just this year in Sonora, and the entire place was packed, and I'm one of the founders for Indivisible CAO4, so we were out there handing out literature and trying to talk to everyone and telling them that this is a nonpartisan group that has really developed, and we're trying to give a voice back to the people. And there's a large population of State of Jefferson people, and if you have never seen their attire, it's really easy to spot. It's the green shirts with the yellow, and sometimes they wear like kind of camo, so it's easy to spot them. While we were taking our seats, the entire place was packed. People were standing everywhere, and I took my daughter with me. So I go and sit her down with a friend of mine, and then I'm looking around for one spot. I find the one chair in the middle of the State of Jefferson, and I ask them if I can sit down, and they say, sure, and I have this huge box in my arm, and they're like, what do you have in that box? I said, I have my liberal agenda. So I sat down, and I started a conversation with them, and I looked over at their poster board, and I said, your message has changed. At the top of the list, it said inclusivity. That's what they are trying to aim for right now. And then I looked at the redrawn map, and as someone who's a geographer, I said, what is this? You're pulling in the Silicon Valley into your map. So we really started talking about the reasons why they want to basically break off from California. It's not secede because they don't want to secede from the nation. And their effort would really take a constitutional amendment, because in the Constitution it says that no new state will be created from an already existing state. But they're going around all of this, and they're going to do this without our help if we don't reach out to them and find out why they're trying to split up. So, can I just finish super quickly? I had 1 minute before, so. And so, one of the things that they're really focusing on is really running for office. Because we're not giving them a voice, they're going to give themselves a voice. Many of them are running for district supervisors in every county, and they're taking on votes to sign a petition that they want to leave the state of California. In 1860, the state of California decided that they were done giving us representatives. So at that time, they capped the amount of representatives at the state level to 40 senators and 80 assemblymen. Back then, those people were able to represent 6,000 people and 7,500 people. Today, those numbers are 500,000 to 1 million for each representative. So they really have a case. They filed a complaint to the state of California, and when they finally had their day in court with Alex Padilla, the judge asked Alex Padilla what he thought about their claims, and Alex Padilla looked at her because the judge asked additionally, and what have you thought about doing in the case of the lack of representation? And what Alex Padilla said is, we haven't thought about it. That's a huge problem, not just at the state level, but at the federal level, our voices get smaller and smaller. Someone in Wyoming, their vote matters 3.6 times more than ours does here in California because of the lack of representation that we have. And that's exactly what we have to do. Past the issues, we have to look at who is speaking on our behalf and are they hearing us. So when I think about the state of Jefferson, I just think about creating that unifying message and how to get it to create those things that really unite us together. Schools, education, our jobs, our livelihood is at stake right now. So we have to come together and move forward together. Thank you.
Okay, next question.